Jens, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wolfgang.
You're the manager here at Segera Retreat.
Yes.
How long have you been around?
For the past 4.5 years, I've been here in this beautiful place.
That means you've been here already while the retreat was built.
While it was built in the construction days.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has been a very, very exciting place. From the very beginning, just to witness it from the moment of birth.
You mentioned you came from North Ireland.
Yes.
Another very famous destination, of course, the Seychelles.
Yes.
And from North Ireland, the hideaway of the rich and famous captains of industry, the who is who in finance and the film and music business. You come here to Segera.
Yeah. To a very different and still ideal and beautiful other island in the middle of the lake.
It looks like an island, 50,000 acres of wilderness island.
Yeah, 200 square kilometers.
Yeah.
It's slightly bigger than the island in the Seychelles, which has been 2 square kilometers.
Yes, smaller.
But a beautiful piece of land.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about the retreat, how many villas you have, how many houses you have, how many rooms, how many people you can accommodate, and what forms the main part of a visitor's activities when he comes here, or when she comes here, or when they come here.
We're beautifully located in the heart of the central Laikipia, in the heart of the Laikipia, and created there around an old cattle boma, our retreat. And it's alongside a river. While we are sitting here, we have this beautiful herd of
I can see
elephants
the
there.
elephant, yes.
We created 8 villas in total, of which we have 2 signature villas. All villas have beautiful views to the vistas. Some of them are equipped with 2 bedrooms, some of them are equipped with 1 bedroom, so we can accommodate even the next generation already on their maybe very first safari. Guests who are visiting Segera have a full spectrum of activities. It starts with the game drives and the excursions and going on early morning game drives, witnessing the sunrise just next to Mount Kenya and having beautiful views of
Of
the
course, that
vistas.
they have everywhere else where they go on safari.
The Mount
Segera
Kenya.
is very special because you offer a lot more. You offer the art component,
Yes.
you are subscribed to the policies and principles of 4C.
Yes.
It's part of the long run initiative. Maybe you tell us a little bit more about it, because visitors coming to Segera obviously should know that they expect so much more added value compared to any other safari property where they go, attended camp, a safari lodge, where they have game drives and game walks and they have bush breakfasts and bush dinners too. I just had a superb bush lunch, I must say, in the company of a whole lot of elephant, and they are now behind us watching me again. Segera is special with these added components. Please tell us about it, because I think visitors would be very keen to find out about that.
Yeah, this has been actually one of the inspirations for me coming actually all the way from a property like North Island and going here. Since the concept of Segera by Jochen Seitz, the owner, is founded on the 4 Cs, and you mentioned the 4 Cs already twice. And the 4 Cs are conservation, culture, community, and commerce. So these are the 4 components which have to be like in a holistic balance. What does it have to do with the experiences? At the end of the day, guests have the opportunity to choose from activities which are relevant to one of these, all of these Cs. So these could be witnessing conservation efforts, which is beyond these normal game drives. You have the opportunity to go on a foot patrol with the conservation unit and see the endangered patas monkeys which are here.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity seeing various species which you wouldn't have in lots of other parts of the country, like the reticulated giraffes. We spoke about the hartebeest, we spoke about grevy's zebras this morning.
And hybrids, not to forget the hybrids. This is the only place, together with I think your neighboring conservancies, where the two species meet and mate.
There you go. And these wildlife experiences can be undertaken in game viewers on foot and day and night, which our guests truly enjoy, also having the opportunity to go on night game drives and to see what's happening here in this private land. While the other Cs are tackling components of the local culture and the local communities. And we've just had two other couples exploring a little bit what's happening on the boundaries, and they went to our community down in the south and had the opportunity witnessing what is possible in the local communities there. And they've met the Satubu beading women, for instance. It's one initiative, 3 ethnic groups, combination of simple Borana and Turkana, different ladies coming together and creating beadwork together and taking it even further and creating Wonderbag. We had the beautiful curries yesterday, and the Wonderbags is like an insulated cooking device which they produce themselves. And guests can not only learn about it while staying here or reading about it in a brochure, they can actually meet the ladies out in the field and see what's happening. And from there you have the opportunity to witness educational programs, not only commercial enterprises in the community, also the education. It might be the Water Bank School, which won the Greenest School Awards, one of our first schools, the Soccer Academy, which we've built after introducing the Laikipia Unity Cup, and various other enterprises like the agriculture projects. And guests can learn about these sustainable factors in this type of industry. Other things are talking about sustainability is taking guests on behind the scenes tours and explaining how you can actually create sustainable tourism and taking them to our solar
You've
farm.
recently taken the inspectors of the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourist Board behind the scenes when they were here for grading and classification.
Yes,
and you told me that without fear or favor you opened all the doors and said, it's all yours. Have a look. What was the result of that?
Oh, a very, very big surprise actually. And they've been very enthusiastic about seeing what we are doing behind the scenes. First of all, they have been even surprised that we said take any door, choose and just go inside and have a look there. And they've been fascinated and haven't seen a setup in this such extent. 360 solar panels, water harvesting tanks, wastewater recycling, grey water usage in the gardens, waste separation, and enthusiastic staff who's really caring.
Refuse evacuation into Nairobi to bring it into a proper chain where it can be recycled.
Yes, there were those factors which brought up when they said
you mentioned the wax.
The wax, candle wax goes to Candle House, for instance, or glass bottles needs to get recycled, and it's not only partners like Kitengela who could use this.
And you have no plastic bottles here at all.
No plastic bottles, only glass bottles. Water is bottled on site, still and sparkling. So even you can be sustainable and avoid plastic bottles and still be luxurious.
Yeah.
So these are components, and we were very excited about the fact that we've been rated as a 5-star property.
That's right, and
we
I think
voluntarily.
I think the rating system here only goes to 5 stars. I think we talked about that yesterday and said, well, the inspectors may have had an eye opener or many about additional components they should look out for in other properties where you excel and actually subscribe to best international conservation and sustainability practice. So who knows? Next round you might get 6 stars.
It's good to be part of it, and I think being as well one of the flagship properties of the long run initiatives, it's nice that there are so many other fellow members now around the world really following the idea of sustainable tourism, measuring the carbon footprint as well of the different properties. And this can be a guest experience, and it's been amazing to hear at the beginning, because a lot of people said, no, one wants to go on safari is interested in seeing a water recycling plant.
And how wrong were they?
Wrong. very first things. And it's so great with the next generation as well, like with kids, and showing them how you can capture energy from the sun, and heat up the water outside your villa. So you've seen the geyser outside your villa, so you maybe feel comfortable to use your rock bath on your veranda if you know that the water will get recycled and it has been heated by the sun.
Yes.
And if you have this minimal carbon footprint, it's a good thing.
True.
Culture. Another component is the art from Africa. And there's no better way in representing not only local culture, in general African culture, with African contemporary art. And the owner, Jochen Seitz, always has been passionate by art from Africa, and has always was quite worried about it, that you could never really see African art in Africa. These beautiful shows, Biennale in Venice or at Basel or Documenta, you have the opportunity to see successful African artists. So he had the opportunity to bring art back to Africa, and the founding collection of the Seitz collection we have here based on Segera. And how did we phrase it yesterday? At every turn you find a lovely piece. It's either a painting, a sculpture, a video installation, a sound installation, light installation, some collages, and different kinds of arts from a variety of African artists and their diaspora. And they have the opportunity to use this platform to talk to an audience which can really contribute to change. And so the culture is represented in this, and this has been received very successfully by the guests as well. And everyone is now looking forward to the next project, which is ongoing at the moment with the Seitz MOCA, the Museum of Contemporary Art Africa in Cape Town.
Which in Cape Town?
Which an old historical silo gets converted in this very minute.
I intend to visit it next year when I'm speaking at the Africa Travel Week, the World Travel Market Africa. So I will take the opportunity to pop in.
Then we can see each other again. It's just around We Are Africa as well.
Yes.
So we're together in town.
3 C's. The 4th C you mentioned is commerce.
Commerce.
How does that fit in
this whole thing?
Yes.
It's so important, because you can only do all of these things if there's a commercial aspect as well in it. Because otherwise the whole thing wouldn't be sustainable. So the commercial factor is like the projects in the local communities and the beading women, and creating an enterprise for them, that they can have an income and have the opportunity to finance the education of their kids, for example.
It has to pay for itself.
It has to pay for itself. And so we can invest into the startup, but then and create awareness, but then the beading women should have the opportunity, train them, share the knowledge, and they should then have the opportunity really to sell items to also others independently to tourism. Other commercial things are excursions. You can do beautiful fixed wing or helicopter excursions up north the country.
Yeah.
Since we are based beautifully in the center of Kenya, you can go up to Lake Turkana, overnight at Desert Rose Lodge. You can go to Messi Ranch, to many of the beautiful spots, and get the feel of the northern part of the country. Or a little bit, you can follow the Out of Africa dream and take a fixed wing and fly to Lake Bogoria and see the flamingos in these areas. And this is one of the commercial factors, because with income we have the opportunity really to sustain this piece of land and to look after the communities.
When you say sustains a piece of land, of course, this is a mixed operation. It's wildlife living in harmony with livestock.
Exactly. And there we come to one of the other commercial enterprises